Hello, hello. Hope everybody's doing well. So this morning is going to be a little bit of an interesting one, even for me. So we're going to be looking at the new web spotlight feature for Kentico Kontent. Let's go switch over to the display. There we go. So these are the docs for it. Essentially, it's a addition to the Kentico Kontent headless CMS, which puts the focus on improving the content editing experience when you are managing content for the web channel. So you can see here, like, the main benefits are listed. So the first thing, actually having a kind of more traditional content tree hierarchy in the CMS, so you can edit it directly in the CMS. You can also add and move and edit pages directly from that content tree. You can also have a much more functional preview window. Most headless CMSs either open a preview in another tab or just have a fairly basic embedded iframe. The web spotlight feature allows Kentico to show the actual preview of the website within the CMS itself. And then this new feature as well, live editing pages from the preview, uses the Smart SDK or Smart Link SDK to allow a developer to mark up the sections of the page that are represented by content items and elements, so they're more easily editable as well. So all of this kind of comes together to make a much better content editing experience. Just gonna turn the music down on my end because it's also a little bit too loud for me. So we're just going to jump straight into this. So I'm actually going into this blind. I am aware of the feature. I've seen demos of it, but I've not set it up on any projects yet. So I thought, just to see how easy it is and how simple the process is, let's just do it live and see what the process looks like. So I've had the feature enabled for my project. So you can see on the left hand side we've got this web spotlight option now. And the first thing we get given is a little modal window to explain, I guess, what we're doing. So let's say set the project up as a website. And this will generate us some new content types. And this is the bit where I'm not 100% sure what the migration path will look like. So we've now got a new home page. If we go to the edit tab, you can see we've got a title, we've got a new subpages field, which is a new content, element type, which allows you to build up this hierarchy on the left hand side. And then we've got some linked content items. So I already have a homepage content model. So I've got a homepage minus the one with the space in it, I think. Yeah, so this is the one I already have. So I guess I will need to migrate my fields over to this new version. So we'll do that first. So I do nothing under content, which is a bit random. Add a background image and a metadata content snippet. So let's take a look at that. So I'm gonna add a general tab for these, and then we'll add a metadata tab. Pop the metadata content snippet in there, and then add an assets field, and we'll add a background image asset to that. I think those are the only fields I had to carry over. Do you have any validation on this? One asset, 1920 pixels. So we'll go back and I'll just update that as well, just so it's consistent. So exactly one image. It must be 1920 pixels and an adjustable image. Cool. Okay, so that updates the content model. So I guess now I can go to, let's see, select both of them. Just going to open that one in a new tab and we'll just copy over that content. We should be able to select this from here, somewhere in banners, I'm guessing. it under metadata. Copy the server. There we go. And then put that in there. So we can publish this now. And I guess now, what is the code name of this? Homepage all in Word. I think mine was home underscore page. Yeah. Okay, so let's try and find home underscore page in my code base. Literally one place where we use that apparently, which doesn't seem like it's going to be accurate. That's not a thing. That's mostly correct. Okay, no, I think that's everywhere. So if I rerun this, let's see. I think everywhere where we've got a capital P, it'll be a lowercase p now. Thinking about it. So I think for consistency, we'll just do a quick rename of everything from upper to lower. Alright, let's try starting that again. So this Gatsby site is a little bit old now. It needs a bit of TLC, but I'm actually planning on migrating it from Gatsby to Next anyway, so I'm not going to be doing that. I'm purely using this now as just a demonstration of Web Spotlight. Then we'll be rebuilding in Next anyway, and when we rebuild in Next, I'll be enabling Web Spotlight from the get-go with that. But I just thought it'd be interesting to see what's the process in retrofitting it into an existing website. So hopefully that'll build. I don't really care about like actually using it because the local version won't be getting embedded, but I just want to see how well that transition works with migrating the homepage over to the new site. I think that should be right. Well, the thing is, I think I'm using an older version of the source plugin, so I don't know if it'll have support for the subpages fields. That might be a little bit of a problem. Well, it compiles, so that's good. Does it have a homepage? Okay. Weirdly slow loading then, but it's probably still compiling some assets or something. Okay. Okay, well it seems like that works, which is good. Can't really complain with that. That would be the index, wouldn't it? Yeah, because this is now used for the lowercase p version, so it should definitely be using the newly created one. Okay, so let's have a look. If we're going to do that, then we can remove our old content model, because we do not need it. So I'm going to archive the old page, delete that. then go and delete the old content model. Cool. So that's given us a new homepage in there, which is published. So the next thing is it also creates this new page content model, which I don't really need because I've got a content page content model. I could do the same thing and migrate those two content items over to the new one, but I don't think we need to do that. I think we can go in here. This is limited to page at the moment. I should be able to remove that and add my own content page. Contact page on there as well. Article listing. This is another thing I want to have at the top level. I should be able to do that. Then now if we go back to our web spotlight section, we do link existing. Content is published. Okay. So we have to create a new version. So if we do link existing pages, try the about page. Cool, that adds it under our subpages section. So we don't have to use the existing page, well, the one that it creates. We're able to use our own. So I'll add these as well. I guess the not found doesn't really need to be in there. It's just a random page, I guess, used for the 404. So we've got about, contact, and articles. So that kind of gives us our initial structure. So we can publish that. And now the other thing I want to be able to do is create, is add the articles in here, I guess. That's something that some people would and some people wouldn't want to do because it's kind of, it's not really content that's dependent on the tree. It's more dependent on just taxonomy, really. But just for demonstration's sake, I want to have a look at what that looks like. So if we go to article listing, we should be able to now add a subpages model. Call it that for now. I was going to double check what it's called on the homepage just for consistency. Subpages all one word. Okay. Let's just go back. I don't know if that matters or not. Where were we? Article listing. So we'll rename that. Just remove that underscore. Save that. Go back to our web spotlight, and now we should be able to do the same thing under articles. It's actually one thing that would be nice there is if when you clicked on here, if clicking one of these would automatically make it go into the draft status. It's a little bit confusing because unless you hold over it, you won't. Like content is published. Like okay, go in here, create a new version. It's a little bit. That's probably the only thing I'd say is clunky there. It would make more sense just to have this automatically do that for you. So we didn't restrict what we can add in there. So we'll go back here and we'll make sure just articles. Go back to our spotlight, add existing, and we can just select all of these. There we go. I can publish that. Cool. So we have a working hierarchical content tree now, and that was incredibly simple. That took very little time. I mean, that's what, 5 minutes, 10 minutes tops. We've been live for 17 minutes, and I went live a couple of minutes before I actually started the stream properly. So yeah, that's pretty quick. So that's me transforming my content structure to web spotlight already. So the next thing, I guess, is making sure we have preview URLs enabled properly. So this, I can get rid of this because this was a experiment we were doing a while back. So we can do URL slug, and the home page can just be the root. I think those are all correct. Okay, so that's a frame issue on my website. So I guess if I got I don't want localhost. assuming I've got frame options set to not allow that domain. Let's have a look. Either that, I just need to explicitly allow it. Interesting. Okay, let's have a look then. So we've gone through this initial process. We've activated it. So let's go and take a look at the edit content directly from the preview. I believe in the SmartLink SDK there's an example specifically for Gatsby. There we go. Initialize on every page or use a layout to initialize the SDK while using Gatsby. Do not expect to destroy it in order for it to work properly. Okay, so let's install this package. Again, I'm going to be going for the simplest option here. Let's just close that dev. I'm going to go for the simplest option here. I think the proper solution really would be to detect if you are on the correct... well, if you've got a request coming in that should have the preview mode option enabled, then load the library. Otherwise, you'd be loading the library on every page for no reason. I don't know how big this is. Let's have a look on bundle phobia. Okay, so it's small. So that's good. It's small and doesn't have any dependencies. So it's not a big overhead to load it on all the pages. But it'd definitely be more appropriate to only load it on the pages that need it. And only load it in the cases where you want to use it. Well, while that's installing, let's go to our layout component. I can't remember where it is. I've not worked on this site in a while, actually. I'm not using the layout wrapping plugin. Very interesting. This is what I was looking for. Page root. Although in saying that, my Visual Studio Code seems to be dying a death for some reason. So this is the top level wrapper for all of the pages on the site for me. So I can just grab that. Grab that. This will include use effect from React. And all the rest of that should be available. My TypeScript IntelliSense is definitely struggling. There we go. One of the things I like is that Kentico do write their SDKs in TypeScript, so you get types provided. Really good. Cool. So that should enable SmartLink. The only thing I'm wondering about here now is the frame options. So clearly in here at the moment we are assuming this is because I was setting the frame options. Next frame options are content security policy. So let's go to the network tab. Let's have a look. It's a referrer policy. I think it's just because we're not actually specifying it. So I'm gonna have to add that to Netlify. I can type Netlify X frame options. I believe you can add a line into a headers file. Yeah. Can you do this for everything? I just want to add it across all the pages, to be honest. Can we play in? Well, I can include star. I'll place all the special match everything apart from slash. Cool, and I guess we want to enable it for app.content.ai. So that'll be the parent frame, right? Yes, yeah, it is the whole page, cool. So yeah, we'll want to enable it for app.content.ai. Let's make sure we get the syntax right. Allow from. So, I think I have a do I have a Netlify plugin installed, I think? Yeah. So we can do headers slash asterisk. And we've got X frame options. And we want set host, allow host. Oh, it's obsolete, okay. As a constant security policy we want to set them. Monsters. So this stuff always confuses me. So many options. Child source. It finds valid sources for web workers and nested browsing contexts. That's the opposite. It's like a parent source. Great. Monsters.
Hope lingers on after the one you love is gone. Thought I smelled your ghost.
Frame ancestors, that's what we're looking for.
Our love became a void, another echo in the noise I can't erase.
So hopefully this will allow it to work.
We could have been paradise, could have been you and I played the fool.
Frame ancestors, I always forget the syntax of this. Just, right, so we'll want okay, so in theory that should mean we're allowing content to show our side. Okay, so we'll include that. I think that should be it. We'll check it builds before we commit this. But so we've added our header, and this is our Visual Studio Code, just reformatted a bunch of stuff. We've changed the casing to the new homepage content model. We've adjusted where we're using that. We've added the new Smart Link SDK, and that's just more renaming. Okay, let's just see if that builds. Yarn build. Yeah, so I'll build the project and then run a little HTTP app so we can check it works. So does the documentation actually mention? It's because it's in here maybe. Yeah, because the preview used to only open a new tab. So now that it's actually been iframed in, it'd be quite interesting to see. They'll probably need to update the docs to make sure people are aware that they actually need to do something at a server level to actually enable it. I don't think anything in here seems to mention it. Yeah, it's literally the only place to mention frame, so... Okay, I might just mention that to them, because I feel like that is something that people are going to get tripped up by. Alright, how's the build getting on? Oh! Telling you what, the allergies have been hitting me pretty hard this week. I think it's definitely been affecting my sleep. Nearly done. Ah yes, I'll go there. Forgot that was on here. Apparently it's not saved. Is it not? I just don't have it on here. Okay, well it built, so that's good. Let's just push that stuff up. So add, so update to use new home model and include smart thing. Let's do that. Let's see how this goes. I can't remember if I actually have a protected master branch or not on my side. Not convinced I do. No. Really should. So, bear with. I just need to remind myself where the build happens. I think it goes through GitHub Actions. Or, oh no, it's a Gatsby Cloud. It may well be Gatsby Cloud. Yep, build's kicking off. Hopefully it won't take too long. build. Hopefully this will actually actually enable the embedded preview. Building the bundles now. So all the pages, all the page queries and everything have been done. So what we won't be using in this is actually leveraging this content structure in our code, which is something you can do because that subpages field is a new field type, so you would be able to use the data in there to build up a hierarchy of content within the actual code itself, to build up URLs and things like that, like with a parent-child relationship, but we're not doing that right now. I'm mainly interested in just getting the built-in preview set up, which, because I'm not using incremental builds on Gatsby Cloud because they're expensive, we won't have the benefit of the fast preview updates, but it will be interesting to see the clickable areas where you can go and edit things. This is why I'm moving to Next, because Next has the ability to just have a dynamic preview, because it isn't fully static. It's kind of a hybrid solution. Because quite frankly, I don't want to pay for Gatsby Cloud for my own personal use, because it's quite expensive. We are nearly done. Just building the HTML for the pages. First build, deploying to Netlify. Nearly there. It's also running Lighthouse reports. I forgot I did that. Deploy successful. Let me just quickly check Netlify. Cool. Okay, so if we reload here and check the network tab again, this is fine. Definitely need to do some work to improve this site. I do it every time. That's horrendous. Wow. I hadn't noticed that on my I feel like that's a new thing. Wrong click. So now we have content security policy. So hopefully reload this. Brilliant. There we go. We actually have an embedded preview. Good stuff. Okay, so now we want to see if we can edit some of the basically add the annotations for the elements that show up in here. So we've done that. Oh wait, no. This is what I want to do. Automatically create smart links. In your website's body, specify the project ID using data content project ID equals rare, and language using language code name. On the body, does it have to be on the body? I ask only because accessing the body element in Gatsby, I think you have to do that through React Element, I think. I'm assuming the library hasn't done that for us either. Hasn't done any wizardry and just injected that for us. No, it hasn't. Okay. Let's close that and go to our page route again. And we'll go to React Element. says document head manager, but I think you can also handle body element, body text with it. Yeah, sports attributes of body. So if we we'll just do it like here or something. Body attributes equals an object. I don't know whose project ID that is, but it's probably not mine. And I believe we have a process environment variable for that. Yeah, so we can grab this. Actually, that won't work because it's not going to be available to Gatsby because it's not going to prefix, so we'll have to sort that out in a second. So it was that, and it was codename, language codename. Data content, language codename. So we'll do language codename. We'll want to prefix both of these with Gatsby. Oh, no. Gatsby underscore. So I'm going to quickly just switch to camera so I can edit the secrets without people seeing them because, you know, don't really want that to happen. Just bear with. So add the project ID and language code name, which I believe is default. I think I changed that. Let me just check. So we can go to settings. Quickly switch back. So you can go to settings and then localization, and this is where you check, and it's this code name here, so it's default. So we'll just quickly check that's correct. So we've got the project ID in there, and we have the language code name in there, which is default. So that should add the correct attributes now. Cool. Right. That's the end file. Okay, I think that's that. So we'll switch back to display again. And that is the first bit done. In a div, specify the content item ID using data content item ID. So this would be for the individual content item. So I guess on a page level, we'd want that to be. So as if we're marking up the home page. I guess we could do that on layout. I'm not sure. Let's see. Content item ID equals data dot system dot ID. Are we actually getting that out? System ID. So if we get that, we go into layout. And go to content item ID. So we need to add to layout props. We'll make it optional so it doesn't break everything. And then content wrapper will need that as well. You're gonna get the saxophone music in your head. It's not bad music to have in your head, to be fair. It's good stuff. Let's see. Okay, well, I'll show straight up a div element. So that can be this then. think that'll be alright. Doing like a mate. Yeah, not too bad. Not too bad, thank you. How about you? Have we got a clear winner for your stream tonight? Did it end up being Dead by Daylight? I voted for Dark Souls, but I think it got picked right at the end. Let's see if this works. I have no idea. I wonder if Gunship have made it so that their music can be used on Twitch, because Gunship are also amazing. I just want to see if this annotates the right content. So I'm not sure how well this will work. Because this is effectively going to add a class to this, which wraps the entire page. Kind of. So I don't know if that's what's expected, really. I might fall over a little bit. Interestingly, only loads the... Oh, do we have to include the query string ourselves in the preview URLs? I think we do. So we included... It's in here. Query string param preview mode. So I'm guessing we need to actually configure that ourselves. So if we do that, I guess. Yeah, okay, so that's now actually got preview mode true in there.
I fell in love with the feeling, didn't fall in love.
Are we done? Yeah. Let's reload
Was a
this.
song I was singing.
Alright, do we have the right things on the right elements? Project ID, language code name, our main content item ID. Cool. So that's progress. And the other thing we can do is set up specific elements, right? Data content element codename body. So if we go back to our home, no, wrong one. Where are we? Index. We have a home banner which uses just the asset field, which is the background image, I believe. So should be able to do this. Let's just write there, background image. And if we go into here, I'm just going to do other props. I'll just make sure we include those on there as well. So I think that's just a styled component. Yeah. So if we do that, now we should be able to have a look at this element. And the container has data element code name background image. So in theory, that should be marked up now to allow me to edit this straight from the preview mode. So let's have a look. Add smart link attributes for homepage. I have to let this build as well, so it's going to take a little bit. But yeah, I can see this not taking a huge amount of time to migrate from an existing site though. I'm fuming I've not actually put that in the right place. It's like my OCD. I think all this should be okay. So I think it should not take too long for us to have got this all working and wrapped up. So let me have a look at my Gatsby Cloud dashboard again. Yep, got a build going through again. Yep, drag that over. There we go. So you can see we've got this build going through right now. Hopefully it won't take too long. The camera down slightly. Deploying to Netlify. Nearly there. So once that's done, we should be able to refresh this and see the. We should see the attributes. Nearly done. I hate waiting for builds. I think if this works, then we'll probably call this part of the stream and move on to playing some RimWorld, I think. Because there's been quite a simple process so far. Seems to be spinning on deploying to Netlify, which is always fun. Even though deployment usually takes a matter of seconds, it's just taking its sweet time for whatever reason. It's just stuck on deploying by the looks of it, which is always frustrating. One thing I didn't do was I need to rebuild it anyway. Fun. Yeah, what I haven't done is add the environment variables to the actual recipe site settings. So it hasn't been able to populate those. So again, I'm just going to quickly switch to just the camera again so I can change those. Bear with.
Take your coat
So they've been added. Can I cancel this build because it's just doing nothing now? See, is it updated on the other end? I've cancelled the build. Okay, so updating the environment variables has caused it to rebuild, to trigger a new build automatically, which is useful. So let's wait for that one to run through. While we're waiting for that, I'm gonna quickly take a short, like, couple-minute break while we wait for that. So let's bear with. Won't be long. Hello again. And the build has been finished and the deployment actually happened this time, which is good. So let's just switch back to that. So if we reload now, we should have let's see. Make sure I've actually got the latest code. Yep. So we've got kit, data content, project ID, code name on there as well. And then on our main element, we've got the item ID, and on the element that the image, around the image, we've also got the element code name as well. So all the attributes are there. Let's see if it now works in here. Cool, it does. Brilliant. That was really easy. So yeah, we've got the show editable elements toggle. When we have that enabled, we get this overlay. We can click on this little pencil icon, and it takes us straight through to where we want to edit our changes. In selects the tab and everything. That, I'm not gonna lie, that is really nice and really smooth. And you know, in about 45-50 minutes, including messing around with deployments, we've migrated over a template to use this. And the editing experience for a content editor now is so much better. previously, in order to edit this image, the editor would have had to have known where, what content item that was on, what field that was on. And on this site, that's pretty trivial. You know, we've got a homepage element, and it has a background image element on it. It's pretty simple. But on a more complex site where you may have a page that's built up from a series of different components, and they're not really sure which one it is. There might be components with similar names, they're not really sure which one to change. Being able to just click on here and just go straight to the element you need to change is so much better. I don't think, to my mind, I don't think there's another headless CMS that has an editing experience as slick as that. So I think for any content editors that are using content predominantly for the web channel, which I would expect most are. Obviously, whilst headless does often promote the idea of using it for multi-channel, I think, you know, at the moment it's still predominantly used for websites, and maybe a bit for mobile apps. So this edition is definitely worth investing in. I think you could, depending on the size of the project, you could probably retrofit this in a matter of days, which isn't significant. And if you know about it ahead of time, if you're building a new project in Kontent, you can build this in from the start. And it's got very little overhead. The SDK was only about 4 kilobytes when it was gzipped, so it's practically negligible, really. So yeah, I'm really happy with how easy that was to integrate and how quick that was to get working and set up. It's good stuff. So we're gonna leave this here because, like I said earlier in the stream, I'm wanting to rebuild my website in Next anyway. So I don't want to invest a bunch of time migrating over everything on my current site to use Web Spotlight when I'm just going to be throwing it away anyway. But this is a really good demo just to see how quick it would be to retrofit the functionality into an existing site. So probably starting next week, we'll be working on like moving the site over to Next. Probably do a bit of a redesign as well, tweak things. We'll probably start building in animation from the start with frame of motion, and we'll just have it. It'll be a nicer site. It's not bad, but it could be a lot better. And I've learned a lot about building in Gatsby and React and everything I've been using for these projects since I built this site a couple of years ago now. So hopefully we'll have a much better result at the end of it.